Right to work. A lot of people might see those words and think right to work sounds like a good thing. Wrong. The truth is, right to work has nothing to do with the actual right to work. It's really about the right of bosses to pay working people as little as possible. It's also about preventing working people from doing anything about it. It should be called the right to work for less. In fact, the term right to work was purposely created to confuse working people. So let's take a moment to explain what it is. Right to work is the name union-busting politicians and business leaders created for one of the most successful anti-union schemes ever devised. For decades, vocal opponents of workers' rights and protections have used what they call right-to-work laws to attack workers and their unions, first at the state and local level, but with hopes of going national. Throughout American history, right-to-work laws have been written and pushed by those who fought against even the most basic rights and protections working people enjoy today. These same people were the ones who fought against workplace safety requirements, the 8-hour workday, and the right to organize a union. They even fought against child labor laws, which ended the practice of exploiting children from working families. So why would people so dedicated to keeping working people down support something called a right-to-work law? Because right-to-work laws create an incentive for people to leave their union or never join one in the first place, for the purpose of weakening the position of all working people while boosting the power of employers over their workforce. So-called right-to-work laws do this by requiring unions to use their time, energy, and resources to fight for people who refuse to join unions or even pay their fair share to help cover the costs of union services and workplace benefits they enjoy because of the union. As a result, unions have less resources for defending their members or negotiating and enforcing contracts, and union members end up having to shoulder more and more of the costs for services and benefits being used by non-union members. Being forced to use resources without a way to recoup those costs causes unions to become less effective. As a result, unions become unable to hire or pay staff to enforce contracts, unable to train stewards, unable to mount legal challenges to unfair labor practices, and ultimately, unable to negotiate good contracts. As time goes on, the conditions for unions and working people become even worse. This isn't just theoretical either. It is a fact that states that have passed right-to-work laws saw a steady decline in union membership, and workers there ended up with lower wages, fewer benefits, weaker worker protections, and higher poverty rates than states that have not passed such laws. Working people in these states have tried over and over to overturn these laws since their passage, but have found it extremely hard to fight against anti-union interest groups with deep pockets and powerful connections, once they have right-to-work laws on their side. That's why Local 3 has spent decades fighting against so-called right-to-work laws at the state and local level and continues to oppose such laws at the national level. Here's the thing. That fight to overturn so-called right-to-work laws and the fight to protect all of our members from a national right-to-work law cannot be won without help from all Local 3 members. If you are ready to do your part, start by keeping yourself informed about labor issues, like the fight against a national right-to-work law. Never let any politician or special interest group distract you from the real purpose of these so-called right-to-work laws, no matter how polished their arguments may be. Always remember that the best way to understand who is fighting for your workplace interests and who is not is to be active in your union. Most importantly, know how Local 3 makes political endorsements and why. Then take those endorsements seriously as you stand with your union brothers and sisters and vote union. As operating engineers, it's not an exaggeration to say that our livelihoods depend on it. We can't risk losing all that working people have gained in the last 100 years by allowing ourselves to become distracted from our immediate interests. Proponents of right-to-work laws show no signs of letting up, and we can't either.